Brianna Ghey was a 16-year-old teenager and an 11th grade student at Birchwood Community High School. Brianna's parents described her as, quote, a larger-than-life character who would leave a lasting impression on all that she met, unquote. According to friends, she often helped younger trans girls safely and legally access hormone replacement therapy. Her friends also said she faced years of transphobic harassment and bullying before she was murdered, including at school, a part of which was being repeatedly gang beaten. Ghey was also a TikToker under the username @GingerPuppyX. On TikTok, she was known for dancing to popular songs. In one of her final TikToks, she said that she was excluded from school. Her TikTok was deleted after she died. On the afternoon of 11 February 2023, she was found with multiple stab wounds on a path in Cawthorpe Linear Park by members of the public. Emergency services were called at 3:13 p.m. and she was pronounced dead at the scene. A Home Office post-mortem was ordered to determine the cause of death. On the 15th of February 2023, prosecutor Leanne Gallagher said the attack was extremely brutal and punishing. Two accused teenagers, a boy and a girl, both aged 15, were taken into police custody, charged with murder 4 days after the incident. A motive has not yet been established, and police are investigating all lines of inquiry, including the killing as a hate crime. On the 15th of February, the suspects were charged with murder, refused bail, placed in youth detention, and ordered to appear at Liverpool Crown Court the next morning. On the 16th of February 2023, the suspects appeared via video link at a brief hearing at Liverpool Crown Court. At this hearing, Judge David Aubrey remanded the suspects in youth detention accommodation until pre-trial preparation hearing on the 2nd of May 2023, at which they will enter pleas. He also tentatively said their trial would start on the 10th of July 2023. It is predicted that the trial will last approximately 3 weeks. A report by NBC News on the killing concluded that, quote, the climate in the UK has grown increasingly hostile for trans people over the last few years, unquote, noting that the BBC had recently published the article, quote, we're being pressured into sex by some trans women, unquote, which was accused of painting all transgender women as sexual predators.
At the entrance to the park where she died, the flowers left in memory of Brianna Ghey. It was down along the old railway line that a 16-year-old life was cut short, a life that, like so many, played out on social media, in TikTok videos like this, and a life that's been honoured by her family. Brianna was a much-loved daughter, granddaughter and baby sister, they said. She was a larger-than-life character who would leave a lasting impression on all that met her. Brianna was beautiful, witty and hilarious. Brianna was strong, fearless and one of a kind. The loss of her young life has left a massive hole in our family. Her friends and teachers, they said, would feel the same. And at Brianna's school, her head teachers said they would do their utmost for pupils at what she called a difficult and distressing time. Damien Harry's daughters knew Brianna from school. He said they were all shattered.
Brianna was just a sort of beautiful, beautiful young girl. Quite active on social media, similar to my daughters. They're both very stressed. Disbelief, being sick, needing to take painkillers for stress. So it was quite emotional for everybody.
A 15-year-old boy and girl remain in custody. Brianna was transgender. Police say they have no evidence to suggest her death was hate-related. Police continue to search inside the park where Brianna was found. They say they're pursuing several lines of inquiry. They've appealed to anyone who was here on Saturday to contact them. Anyone with CCTV or dash cam footage from this area at that time to share it with them. They've brought in more officers and stepped up patrols to reassure people in this village, a place shocked over the loss of a young life in the heart of their community.
When do you want it? No! What do you want? Trans rights! When do you want it? No! What do you want? Trans rights! When do you want it? No!
How have they come to have so much hatred in their hearts that they would want to stab this young woman? Whether they knew she was trans or not, I don't know. I don't know if the police know. The police say it was a possible hate crime. Of course, it must have been some kind of hate crime. How else would you go and brutally stab someone in a park?
There has been much debate in
Saturday
recent
afternoon?
years over what is taught in our schools. Science, history, mathematics, reading and writing all seem open to interpretation and the whims of shifting policy. But the one thing that should be taught, should be reinforced, should be monitored and upheld, is the value of life. I think to all the victims of cruel, needless persecution. I think of all the children killed because they did not fit in, because they were not popular or appeared weak and defenseless. I think of the tragedy of all the souls murdered for no other reason than they wanted simply to be themselves. This is not an LGBT thing. This is a human thing. There are those that, given the inclination and perceived permission, will attack anyone they feel is different, whether that difference be race, creed, religion, social status, or gender identity. Why are we allowing the stain of prejudice to seep back into our common thinking? When did bigotry, hatred, and abuse somehow become accepted so long as the victim was in the minority, whether that minority of orientation, religion, culture, or race? We must remember who we are and who we are not, or it could be our child lying dead at the hands of a classmate or shooter. We must teach our children right from wrong, and not just with words, but examples, so that they will know what to do, not just for themselves, but for others. Then, only then, when we together stand against such evil, will we drive it away from the mainstream and back into the shadows where it belongs.